I guess, ready to go? Okay. Me too. Okay. Well, hello everyone. Thanks for coming. I appreciate this so much. I really do. So we're talking about my book, The Lost Library. It's something very important to me, something I have wanted to write about since I was like 15, 16 years old. I had this idea in my mind of, so basically the premise of the book is we all go through experiences in life. We all hide parts of ourselves, even unintentionally. And we kind of like file away our memories, file away these important or even traumatic parts of ourselves. And don't tell anyone. I mean, there's so much, you don't know about me, you don't know about me, and who wants to talk about the vulnerable parts of their lives? And so the concept of the Lost Library, in the book, it's actually like a physical place, but it's also like symbolic, how you go to a bookstore like Keaton Lloyd, you go to a library and there's so many stories on a shelf, there's so many characters, emotions, backgrounds, their favorite color, so many layers to people. And I believe everyone has a purpose. That's the point of this book. Everyone has a purpose. There's light and darkness in everyone. We all have value. There's no such thing as someone who's below you. That's what I personally believe. I don't think anyone is better than anyone. I think we all really are equal, and there are good people. I mean, there's good in everyone, even, some people that we don't like. I really believe that love and kindness will heal the world. I believe everyone really does have a purpose and will leave a mark and a lasting impression. And I feel like everyone should use that opportunity to do something good with it. I often think about how there are some people who lash out of anger, and who are just really negative people. And I'm like, why are you upset about this? Take your negative energy, put it to something useful. There's people like who just get mad at like retail workers even. There's people who get mad over the littlest things. And it's just like, take that negative energy and maybe do something passionate with it. Make something good out of your negative experience. And that's why I'm here. I have had a lot of negative experiences. So thank you for coming. And so this is my 5th book, but it's my 2nd work of fiction, and it's very exciting. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes, thank you. My first three books were poetry, and they were definitely from the heart. This is definitely from the heart, but in a different way. So writing books has always been therapeutic for me, has always been tricky for me as well, because I have many abandoned projects because it's just like I get like 50 pages in, and if I don't feel that sort of passion, if I don't feel that, like, it's got to be like a science experiment, like alchemy, and it's like you got to put the potions in, the witch's brew, it's all that. It has to it has to have the right feel, because I can't write about things that don't mean something to me. I like writing about things that motivate me, things that I am passionate about, and this is what I'm passionate about. I've met so many people along the journey of my own recovery and my own healing, from things I haven't spoken about. Well, I have in my books. Because it's like, it's weird. Like, I don't like talking about me, but it's like, it's out there for anyone to read. Like, it's like, like dating or whatever. They're like, Google me, and I'm like, yeah, by the way, and stuff like that. But, writing has always been something very important to me. I wouldn't be who I am without writing, poetry, performing. And so this is my 2nd work of fiction, and the goal was to always write fiction, but I had some things I needed to work through that I'm still working through, but now I'm in a place where I can share other people's experiences that aren't real. So so the Lost Library, excuse me, is a concept of how we all have stories to share. And I think, the people next to you, like, they have a brother, they have a sister, they've experienced love, loss, heartbreak, lust. Everyone has experienced these feelings, and I just have always.
Yeah. Right on. He's like, absolutely love it.
And I just feel, I would walk down the street at age 15, 16, going to school, and I'd be like, wonder where that person's going. Where are they off to? What are they going to experience? Are they going to visit their mother? Are they going to go break up with their girlfriend? Are they going to have some Kentucky Fried Chicken. What
KFC.
what are they about
Let's
to
go.
do? And I don't know. Yeah, go to
McDonald's.
McDonald's. Let's get a Big Mac.
McDonald's.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And I always like to people watch, and I'm like noticing like their traits. Do they bite their nails? Do they do this? Do they that? And I was always fascinated, like literally fascinated. So, but you know, that's what the book is about. It's about purpose, how everyone has a story to tell, everyone has an identity. Excuse me. But the book at its core is about two main characters, Ivy and James. And so, as I said, I came up with the story when I was 15, 16, and I needed the right characters, I needed the right setting, I needed to have a reason to write this story, and hopefully I found the right characters to do so. So James, we'll start with James. He's kind of a lost soul at the moment. He's kind of like, doesn't really know what the heck he's doing. You know, we've all felt that way. We're like, is this what I want to do? Like, is this where I want to go with my life? You know, that external crisis at age 20, 21, 22. You're like, I don't know if this college degree was actually important enough for me. I don't know if this is the right path. So he's just kind of figuring things out, and his side of the story is a little more lighthearted, but as he's not dealing, that's not the correct term, as he's working with Ivy, you know, the other main character, as they are experiencing these experiences together. And then Ivy, she suffers with borderline personality disorder, which I feel is a disorder that's not talked about enough, which is very misunderstood, which is it's a very complex disorder, and ever since myself getting the diagnosis of a year and a half ago, my whole life changed personally. So all my life I felt like I was searching for something, felt like I was lost, felt like I didn't have the answers I was looking for. I just didn't understand why I was feeling the way I was feeling. I was always overwhelmed, always scared, always nervous, always worrying something's gonna happen because of the trauma that I faced as a child. You know, it was a violent childhood, but I've been in therapy, you know, and I still have a ways to go, but ever since I go to therapy and I get the wrong diagnosis, and the way I look at it is, yes, the mental illness realm, like there are some connections, but if you're not being treated for the right thing, you're not going to get better. Like you can't go, go to the doctor and get, diagnosed for something else when you really need insulin. You know, it's like the medications work for something else, So I was misdiagnosed, and I was getting so frustrated. I'm like, why is nothing working? Why? I'm doing my best. I'm going to work. I'm going to college. I'm going to events. I'm going to poetry. I'm being social. What is wrong? And so I kind of had to be an advocate for myself. I had to stand up and be like, this is not the way I want my life to live. I don't want to waste my life. You know, I spent a lot of time worrying about, oh my God, I missed out on so much. Oh, the lost time in life. Oh, just there's so much lost time. And in the process, I was like, I'm worrying about losing time, like biting my nails, like, oh, I just missed out on so much. That I'm losing time while I'm focused on losing time. And it was just this cycle of, I had to make a change. I had to have uncomfortable conversations. I had to force myself because I had this concept of, oh my God, no one, I need someone to save me. I need someone to heal me. And no, you gotta stand up for yourself. You gotta, and it's hard. It is hard. It's like, it's almost like I deserve to be happy. And everyone deserves to be happy, but it's like, you deserve to be happy. Exactly. Yeah, you got the right attitude. And so, this is clearly something I'm very passionate about. And that's why this book is so important, because it is fiction. And the main character, Ivy, she's so different from me. Like, I was writing this, I'm like, why are you doing this, Ivy? Why are you doing this? Stop it right now. And, and it's just funny because people are like, you have control of the story. And I'm like, do I though? Because when I write fiction, I'm just like, it's almost like a movie's playing in my head on a projector, and I'm just kind of writing what is happening. I don't have control of the story. I'm like, why are you doing this, Ivy? Let them love you. Let them see you for you. Why? I'm getting so mad. So there's a lot of mistakes she's made that I'm like, but I've made a lot of mistakes. But I think it's fascinating to write about borderline personality disorder and all that, which I'll talk more about what exactly it is in a minute. But like, Ivy and I are so much different. There's so many differing things about us, and I think it's just interesting how I feel like people like diagnose things and like it's just this one thing. There are so many spectrums to many things, and what looks like this might not look the same to this person, might not look to that person. You know, it's just, and I feel like in my experience, people have been like, you don't have that, because this is what my experience. It's like we all feel things differently. We all like go through things differently. Like, you know, someone passes away. That person over there is crying their eyes. Oh, that person's very blank. It's like that person could be grieving more than the person crying. You know, we all handle things differently in life, and I think that's interesting. And that's also something I study people. Maybe I should be in psychology. I don't know. It's like I gotta focus on my own stuff first. But you know, borderline personality disorder is just definitely, it stems from your childhood. You know, it could stem from a parent possibly having it. And there's so much misunderstanding about it. There's so many layers of these. Borderline personality disorder and bipolar are very like misunderstood. Like one person thinks it's that. Bipolar is like 6 good days of mania and then a week of depression. You know, where you can't get out of bed, and it's like it's not like I'm up, I'm down, I'm up, down. That's borderline. Literally, your mood can be changed in an instant. You're going through the phases every hour. You're happy then, you're sad then. Something can trigger you when you're out on the street. You can hear sirens and you're like, oh God, that brings me back to when my parents da-da-da. Or a sound, a slamming door. Oh God, did I do something wrong? Did I do something wrong? What did I do wrong? Oh, they're gonna leave me. Oh, this, that. And it's just the racing thoughts is literally like me rambling just now. That's what it's like 24/7. And it can be very difficult, and I think talking about things, and that's why I'm here, talk about these characters, which I've talked a lot about myself, but we're going to get to the characters. So it's, I'm here because I want to educate. I want to have the platform to inform people and hopefully help one person. You know, that's the goal, is always to inform, educate, entertain, make people laugh, make people smile, I want people to take away from the story that maybe people aren't as bad as you think they are. You're not a bad person because you've done bad things or that you've gone through things. A lot of people experience things in life and they feel like they're to blame for other people's actions, and that's just not right. And so with this story, I want people to take away that, you know, help is there, the correct help. And being an advocate for yourself is very important, because I've had some therapists. There are some great therapists who will help you, will work through this stuff, but then there's some that treat you like a number, and it sucks, but you really gotta decide. Like, people start out therapy and one therapist doesn't work, they're like, that's it, that's all it's gonna take, you know, that nothing's gonna work. But unfortunately that's not the case. You have to, trial and error is a thing. Yeah, give it a try. Give it a try. Trial and error. You know, it's just, yeah. So one of the lines from, and it's really hard to talk about this stuff. It is hard to talk about. Like I said, who wants to talk about things that are going through their head, especially when people don't understand these things? Yes?
So, one time, my dad was trying to hurt me, and when I got home, my head was racing with, like, anxiety attacks. And Mommy was calming me down.
Well, that's good. Yeah, sometimes you need other people to help you. Yeah, it's definitely okay to ask for help if you need to. So that's good. It's good.
And I also tried to rest.
Yeah, definitely rest is important.
Rest is the most important.
Rest, that you deserve rest. Everyone needs to rest more. Everyone's always go. Everyone needs to rest more. Everyone's go, not stop. But it's important to rest. Take time for yourself, definitely.
No, it's important to rest.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You know. So it is hard to talk about these things, believe it or not. I'm having a good time. But one of the lines from the book is, I'm only socially acceptable until I talk about the things that are running through my head. And I think that's such an important line, is, you know, people don't want to hear about this stuff, let's be honest. You know, people want to hear about the good things, and, you know, not everyone's having the time of their lives. Some people are going through grief. Some people are abused. Some people are going through things that they're working through. And it's unfortunate and hopefully with this book, it'll help people realize I'm worth getting help, I'm worthy, and standing up for themselves. So if people are vulnerable, just hear them out. You might not know how much they need someone just to hear them out. I've spent my life trying to be understood. I felt so lost. I would be like, why am I feeling this way? And that's what Ivy is dealing with in the book. She's like, why? I have all these good things happening in life. That's Ivy. And she's like, why am I mad? Why am I mad I'm getting the things I want? Why am I sad I'm getting these? Shouldn't I be whole? Like, why am I still dealing with this? I'm in my 20s. Shouldn't I be over this by now? And there's no correct way of healing. Healing is not linear. It's messy. You 5 steps forward, 10 steps back, 8 steps forward, 3 steps back. It's just, you gotta be patient, unfortunately, and find the help. And it's important to ask for help, but get the help you need. You can ask for help, and you know, it's not help is help. Getting help. It's not a one size fits all. There's not a rule. There's not, you know. That's why there are many therapists, different therapies. Oh, sorry. There's definitely healing and recovery is just, it's not a one size fits all. There are people who need different kinds of therapy, who need specific tools to help them better themselves. And so don't be discouraged if your first therapist, your second therapist, because there is the right kind of help for you. There is love out there for you. And you gotta find the right one, maybe that specializes in borderline personality disorder. Maybe, you know, when that is specialized with complex personality, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. And I think that's important you have to be an advocate for yourself. And that's the toughest part. Sometimes we all feel like we need a hero. We all feel like I need someone to come rescue me, you know, because maybe you have to be your own hero, you know, unfortunately. So I find it so important to talk about this with the characters is because, you know, borderline personality is common. It's 1 to 2% of the population, which it sounds like it's just 1 to 2%. That's millions of people. Like it's not like it's 100 people. Millions of people are dealing with this, and they feel alone because no one's talking about it. They feel alone because no one's talking about it, and that's why I'm here. So, with the book The Lost Library, Ivy and James were separated as kids. They were 8-year-old friends, you know, just playing, you know, at recess and all of that. And Ivy was going through some traumatic things, and she was moved across the country, you know, to live with another relative. And so, you know, James was confused. You're 8 years old, you're like your best friend you sat at lunch with all day, you know, every day, you know, he's sitting alone now. It's really unfortunate that, you know, and no one was taking him seriously because you'll get over it. But it's like, dang, you know, it's your best friend. You know, it's unfortunate. So they reunite years later, and it's kind of like, whoa, how's it going? You know, like I haven't seen you. You know, and there's almost like this. We have to have this friendship. We have to bond instantly. We have to go through this stuff together, and it's like it's forced, and it's like we are very different people. We're not 8 years old anymore. We're in our 20s now. Like, and there was this expectation. That's the word I was looking for. And it was very interesting to write about these characters who are so different, are so similar. And that's what I wanted to write about, is these two characters are very different from one another, but we all are different. Everyone here has so many similarities, has so many differences. And that's what really should bring us together. You know, the country is all about diversity, or it should be. It's all about bringing people together, connecting. That's what we need to do more as a country. We can't be so divisive. You know, the differences will bring each other together. And so 1 to 2% of the people, 1 to 2% of the population have borderline, and about 8 to 10% of the people with the diagnosis end up taking their life. And that is rather unfortunate because maybe they didn't have the representation. Maybe they didn't feel heard. And that's why if you see someone struggling, if you see someone upset, you know, even on Facebook, you know, like maybe just reach out, maybe be kind, because it's like sometimes that's all people have. Like, you know, it's like people go, you know, Thanksgiving was the other day. Like if I wasn't working, I'd probably spend it alone. You know, that's the thing. That's, you know, that's just unfortunate. People don't have the security, the safety net, the family, the friends that they deserve. Everyone deserves to feel loved. Everyone deserves to feel welcome in their skin. And so talking about it. Why talk about it? Because it's very isolating. It's very alone. It's very like you're the only one dealing with this, and you're not the only one dealing with this. And it's okay to have these uncomfortable conversations. I literally would talk about this, record videos, and then delete it afterwards. I'm embarrassed. There's nothing embarrassing for showing weakness. There's strength in weakness. And it's why I talk about it, because it helps. If you're uncomfortable hearing about it, imagine how uncomfortable the person who has the diagnosis, who is feeling all these things. Imagine how uncomfortable they are, so hear people out. I think that is so important. Ivy would be on the couch cuddling with her dog, and she'll just start panicking, and she's like enjoying ice cream, watching her favorite show.
Yeah.
And like, why is she panicked? Why is she feeling something bad's gonna happen? Why are they coming for me to take me away? Take me away where? Oh, that definitely stems back from her childhood of being taken away in the middle of class. And I think, they're often, people with borderline are often seen as dramatic and, end of the world. It's the end of the world. It's the worst thing possible. And for them, it is. It is the worst thing possible. It literally feels like being flatlined. That's the best way I can explain it. It's like you have all these good things happening, and then you'll notice something, and you're like, grieving. It's like grieving a loss, and it's rather unfortunate. So it's important to just hear people out. And so what can we do about it? Just talking about it. Like I said, if people are uncomfortable to hear about it, then imagine who are suffering, talking about it. And I know you don't have, some people don't want to hear about it and just pass off they're crazy. Well, and I was talking you earlier about how there's homeless people, there are people who are suffering, and instead of just saying, oh, they're crazy, it's just like, have compassion and be like, be grateful you're not in that situation. Maybe that's not the right way to say it, but just be grateful that you are where you are, and because that could be you. You could not have a house. You could have $0 in your pocket. You could, because it can happen to anyone. Like, you've heard millionaires having nothing and then are just spare change. It's downfalls can happen to anyone at any time in life, and I think kindness really will heal the world. I mean, I've worked in customer service for years, and I've had people come in and, they would tell me, my dad has cancer, and your smile, your kindness really boosted my mood, made me feel like I can get through the workday. And I think that is just so impactful. I think that is so beautiful, the fact that just simple exchanges of, how's it going? Yeah, I love mocha coffee, I love this, yeah, oh gosh, this is happening, and they're just lifted, and that's all it takes, is a smile and kindness. I feel like life is hard for anyone. You don't have to have borderline, you don't have to have anything, you could just, life is hard, work sucks, kids are, you have kids, work, it's just, you gotta grind and work hard and do all this, and it could be exhausting, and everyone deserves rest, everyone deserves kindness from people. So just be kind, just be compassionate, be understanding, and think outside of the box. Be the person, be like, Gandhi said that, right? Be the change you want to see in the world. And I think, we get so caught up in our own stuff because it's natural. Like, this is what's going on with me, this is what's going on with me. And it's not selfish, that's not the correct word, because we do ultimately have to take care of ourselves. But I think reaching out, asking people how they're doing, that is important. But I know it's difficult. And so I'm here just to talk about this book because I want to remind myself to reach out to other people. I want to double check people, are you okay? Because I know you experienced a loss, I know. And I'm not perfect. I'm preaching about kindness, I'm preaching about all this, but I get angry, I get mad, I get disappointed, I say harsh things. Yeah, exactly. We all say things we don't mean at the time. It's just kind of how it is. And with Ivy, she has this push and pull of letting people in and like, you're gonna hurt me, I don't want to invite you into my apartment, you're gonna hurt me. And it's just unfortunate, so many people have to go through these things, and we all know about it, we all know this happens, but we turn the channel, we flip through the pages because it's too sad, and it is sad, but like, what can we do? What really can we do? I feel like the foster care system's messed up. People are getting their kids back 6 times, after losing them. It's just almost like the system is doomed to let people fail, like, the upbringing. And there's like, it's just unfortunate that people get away with doing these things, and it's so detrimental. Where you come from really does stem who you are. You're taught hatred, you're taught, racism by some parents and stuff like that. You're going to be taught to hate, you're taught this, you're taught to fear this, you're taught to not do this. And it's about, unfortunately, people have to stay in these environments for a while, and they have to unlearn these negative things to better themselves, to be the people they want to be, because they are always questioning themselves. That's Ivy. She is tangled. That's why I came up with the name Ivy. I was like, she's tangled. She's caught up in the thorn. She's like trying to figure things out and get herself, because I picture her like just wrapped around like a snake around, just smothering. And it's just very difficult for her. And I think having someone who cares about her and who is persistent, not invasive, but persistent, who just, sometimes we all need to be reminded that someone's there, someone will listen without judgment, without, will just understand and be like, that's not crazy. I get that, because what's crazy anyway? Like, really, like, we've all had intrusive thoughts. You can't tell me you haven't thought, like, we've all, but, more like, it's maybe a little more common. It may be, it being flatlined is the worst thing ever. You can have the best day of your life, and then something something small can just, it'll feel like death. It'll just literally, it is a very up and down. Yeah, exactly. Oh, it could be over anything. It could be over, and it's just unfortunate. So I think, talking about it is just so important, and be an advocate for yourself. Find the help that's right for you, and that's what this book is about. She's having a hard time opening up and trusting, and making a lot of mistakes. So with the Lost Library, it is a real place. It is. She inherits like a library that's in ruins. Like, it's not nearly as wonderful as Keaton Lloyd Bookshop here, but it's just dust everywhere. No one's tended to this, and so Ivy goes to this library, and she explores and finds memories between the books and the dust, and reads and finds some secrets that were hidden there about her own life. And I really think it was very interesting to write this and find things about myself, find things out. In doing research, I found out a lot about myself, and that's why I hold this book to such high regards. It's like, I really was healing while writing about other people. This book is not about me at all, and it's like, but it's someone else's experience. My experience is so different than other people, and Ivy has her own experience. She has her own story to tell, and I think she doesn't talk about her own stuff, and it is important too. So just keep that in mind, and and I've talked a lot about Ivy, and what's interesting is what my favorite thing, I was like sitting behind the laptop, I was like, I'm a writer, I'm a mastermind, being so smart, because the character, it's alternating who's telling the story versus James versus Ivy. And so, like, in the middle of the chapter, like, I will switch from Ivy to James, so I could share what both of them are feeling as they're having an argument, as they're expressing fear, as they're, as what are they dealing with, like, and it'd be in the middle of like an argument, like, now it's James' perspective, and I think perspective is very important, because people with these issues, they don't know how they're affecting other people, and people who aren't dealing with it, they don't know how the other person's feeling. And I think self-awareness is very important, and I think it's so important just to, I've said this a lot, it is important, all this is important, talking about this is important, and it's beautiful to read stories and notice myself. I have a friend named Jeff, and he is good. He's sober. He's been sober. He literally, I don't want to say this, but probably statistically he shouldn't be here. Like, I'm surprised he's alive, and now he's thriving, has the job of his career, of his life. He's healing, and we talk, and he's like saying, I'm noticing myself healing. I'm noticing myself not doubting myself, and it's like such a beautiful experience. It's like, and it is beautiful. And Ivy, as she grows and learns and opens up, I'm all like proud of her, and I'm like, she's not even real. I'm like, good for you, good for you, Ivy. And good for you, Ivy. You're growing because you're an Ivy. And I think it's just, yeah, I don't know. I just, I guess, just reach out to people. In conclusion, just reach out to people and maybe explore their lost library. Explore their archives. Find out what really. When my mother passed, I was just like, what's her favorite color? What does she like? So I'd ask my aunt, I'd ask her best friend, I'm like, can you tell me about her? Can you tell me about her past? That's also was a, I'm just like, Ivy didn't know much about people in her life that were supposed to take care of her. And it's like, it's always this like push and pull of should I care, should I? And so just hearing about my mother and like, oh, she loved Dr. Pepper, her favorite color was this, she experienced this. And it was very fascinating, really, how you have a favorite color, you have a favorite color, and I my favorite color is purple. Purple. And yeah, I don't know. So just find out the stories that people have and shed who you thought they were. I think that's so important. It's like, I've met people who are struggling and 3 years ago and now they're excelling, and people in their life are still seeing them as the addict, still seeing them as that person who is there, and it's like, people gotta grow, people gotta heal. And if you look at them the same, if people are on a healing journey, you gotta like show compassion, show concern, but also give them space to grow and understand that they're not the same person as they were before. They are doing their damn best, and I think that is so important. So just listen, it makes all the difference. So that's what I gotta say.
That was awesome.
Thank you.